following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
Thank you, Tally Olson. I am back, comfortably zoned, on the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. I'm Ralph Tycho, and I'm in Alameda, California, right across the bay from San Francisco and across the moat from Oakland. I'm a lucky guy. I generally talk to the most interesting people on the planet. Today is no exception, but the reason I'm particularly lucky, this interesting guy, is a fellow Alamedan and my bud, Jerry Feitelberg. What it is, Mr. Feitelberg, how are you?
I'm doing great, Ralph. Yeah, it's one of the best kept secrets in the Bay that Alameda has the best weather in the entire Bay Area. We're not too hot.
Absolutely, and year-round, it could arguably have the best weather in the entire nation. If you take into effect that we average like about 70 degrees year-round.
70 degrees year-round. No air conditioning. You don't need it in Alameda.
And
it's
you really don't need central heat or that type of thing either. It's nice to have, but it isn't an absolute necessity. It never snows. It never gets below like 45 in the winter. Never gets. We had a heat spell a week or so ago where it was literally 100 degrees in the Bay Area. It was sweltering. But that lasted a week or so, 3 or 4 days, and we're back to absolutely beautiful weather.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous.
We have some culture in Alameda. You gotta dig for it, but we have an art center. We have something I'm particularly proud of, the Betts Photographic Center in Alameda. Proud of it not because of anything I've done, but just proud to live in a city that kept this thing going all these years. And we have some good pizza, I'll tell you that.
Good pizza, yeah.
Alameda Pizza on Webster. They are the closest thing to New York pizza. Or as Tally and I say, New York pizza is the closest thing to Alameda pizza as you can get.
And being from Boston, I will say that Boston pizza from Boston's North End is trumps. I hate to use the word, but it trumps New York and West Coast pizza.
Oh, but really?
That's
okay.
just my.
I'm an agnostic. I'm open-minded to stuff. I'll have to go back to Boston sometime, and maybe we can go together and catch your Red Sox.
There you go. That'd be great. Well, we have one other thing in Alameda and it's going to be next month, around July 20th, just about a month from now, will be the 50th anniversary of the first trip to the moon. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin set foot on the moon, and
you know who they found? They found Alice Cramden when they got there.
Yeah,
it was
right.
a big surprise.
Ralph.
Nobody knew it was one of those lovely Audrey Meadows' sister or Jane, whichever one it was.
Audrey Meadows, right? And the ship that picked up the space capsule when they returned from the moon was the United States carrier, the Hornet, and that ship is permanently stationed here in Alameda. They have wonderful tours, and if anyone is in the neighborhood, they're going to have a big celebration on the Hornet next month. But if anyone's in the neighborhood and it's a museum and they have docents, and if you have 2 or 3 hours, you can take a nice tour of the Hornet. on the carrier. You go to the flight deck. They take you around the ship. You go down the ladders like the sailors would do way back in the old days. When you have to be careful because they don't it's not stairs like you and I would expect. You're going down ladders, and the best way to go down is forward. And most people don't like to do that, but I did it about I think it was 3 years ago or 5 years ago. My buddy was out. We took a tour of it. It was time well spent. I enjoyed the whole experience. And you see how
I've been on that ship, and if anyone out there is into parapsychology, all these ghosts and second dimensions and what have you, the Hornet is said to be, and you could Google this, one of the most active places for, ghosts, dead sailors, this, that, and the other thing. You don't have to believe it. It's just out there. And I don't know if you knew this. I lived in a camper van on that very base, the old Alameda Naval Base, where the Hornet is stationed, and I lived directly across from the Hornet in that camper van for a long time. And I didn't see any ghosts, but it is a very, very interesting place. The old naval base is incredibly interesting for a number of reasons. The sights of the city of San Francisco from there are incredible. And like you say, Jerry, Alameda is a well-kept secret, even though it has grown and expanded from just a naval town.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly the real estate market has crept up to the point where it's basically unaffordable unless you're Jerry Feitelberg, retired pharmacist, and the most successful guy I know, but that's the good news. That's not a backhanded compliment, Jerry.
Thanks.
You've lived a rich and a prosperous life, and I admire you and always have.
Thank you, Ralph.
Right.
Put a lot.
Keep it going another 80 years.
Yeah, I put a lot of time in that running the pharmacy. But just like a lot of people, I had to have knee replacements, and I had back surgery 5 years ago. So a lot of wear and tear on the old body, but came through it and enjoying life now. And
may I ask what you had your
traveling.
knees replaced with? Nah, that's just a little humor. But you're standing up, and you're you've been around, and you're twice blessed. You had a lovely mate for many, many years, and she passed away, and you have a lovely companion that you're going through life with now. And what can you say? Nothing wrong with that, Jerry.
No, very thankful for. I was married to Geraldine for 41 years, and I've been with Isla now for this is 10 plus years with Isla, and we enjoy each other's company, and we've been doing some traveling, and look forward to continuing with her. Yeah.
Please do, and please stay healthy, and that's all you could ask for. And keeping your mind fertile, and I think the way you do it is much like the way I do it. We're both sports fanatics, and you have many, many sports teams that you follow, players, sports themselves. You're a basketball fan, you're an A's fan, you're a Red Sox fan, as we talked about, and it keeps you going. It keeps your mind active. What's going on? You're still in the press box. all these years.
Yeah.
Anybody out there, a little background on Jerry? He was the 1995 Pharmacist of the Year. Not only in Alameda, not only on Park Street and Santa Clara, but in the entire frickin' state of California. Not bad, Jerry.
Not bad at all.
You went from there. You had the experience of being the official A's Oakland Athletic pharmacist, and
worked with the club
about
for 6 years.
Yeah. So, and now you're doing a little journalistic endeavors. You've been integral part of the comfortably zoned network, and among other things. And I'm proud to be your buddy.
Yeah, it's really great. I was very, very fortunate when I joined the A's medical staff back in the 90s. It opened so many doors, and doors open, doors close. The A's decided to make a change. They had new front office people. They went in a different direction in 1999 or 2000, and we parted ways. But I was able. I had made many contacts with people in the press box, and I was able to start doing TV in 2005 in Alameda, writing and hosting a program on baseball. And the type of programs we did were a little bit different. We didn't do nightly sports reports, but we did stories about why people are fans. I went down to spring training armed with a TV camera recorder. I did interviews with Ron Washington, who was coach at the time. He later became manager of the Texas Rangers, took the Rangers to the World Series in 2010 and 2011.
The most heralded infield coach in baseball. This guy's terrific. Who was it? Chavez won 6 Gold Gloves because of his tutelage, and even awarded Ron Washington one of his Gold Gloves.
Unfortunately, he lost it. He lost that one during hurricane. He lived in New Orleans, and he lost his home in Hurricane Katrina in 2005. But
yes, and they had it replaced.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. So,
but the A's have a player on the field that Ron Washington worked with, and you see the results every day. When Marcus Semien came over from the Chicago White Sox, he did not do well playing shortstop his first or second year. He was making a lot of errors. He led the league in errors at shortstop. At Ron Washington, I saw Ron work with him, and the drill that Ron Washington did with Marcus, and he worked hard at it. And now, if you watch him play, he is an outstanding shortstop. He had never played shortstop before. He was the second baseman when he came over from the White Sox in the trade that sent Samardzija to the White Sox, and Semien came over. So, but he floundered for his first couple of years, and now he's hitting, he's fielding, and he's playing. You just can't say enough about that man. He's just having a terrific season.
Absolutely, and he's completing what could be one of the best infields in history with the two guys, 2 Golden Glovers, one at third, one at short, one at first. In Chapman, and who's the first baseman?
Olson.
Oh, yes, Olson.
Matt Olson.
Skips my mind. I'm teasing
I
Tally Olson.
I won't tell Tally you forgot her last name.
I know. I teased her that way. Who was that? Olson? I don't remember that. But in any event, they're lacking a second baseman. They traded Lowry, and Lowry dies for the Mets. My Mets. He absolutely doesn't show up. Body just goes south.
It's the curse of the Mets. He hasn't played an inning this year, I don't think.
I'm the curse of the Mets, Jerry.
The A's got jerks.
Just being a
Profar.
fan. Just being a fan. They write me letters. Root for the Yankees, they say. Take the curse. You remember the Bambino, the curse of the Bambino? Who had that? You remember that well, don't you?
Yeah, 86 years of it. Come on.
Right.
86 years.
And who would have thunk? Who would have thunk he got 4 championships in the last 10 years?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You know, you talk about defense. One of the axioms in baseball is strength up the middle, and you have to have a good double play combination. You have to have good pitching. You have to have good catching, and someone out in center field.
And a good chemist. You got to have a good chemist nowadays.
Yeah. The guy the A's have out in center field, Ramon Laureano. What a find. They got him. He came in a very unnoticed trade with the Houston Astros. And that young man is just lighting it up out in center field. He's terrific. Makes great catches, throws guys out, hits home runs, drives in runs. What more can you ask? And how about the guy behind the plate, Fegley?
We expected a real drop-off in talent when they didn't sign last year's catcher de jour.
Yeah.
Or re-sign.
They didn't sign Jonathan LaCroix, and we were all upset about that. Because
hey, Jerry, would you break down their pitching staff a little bit? What's been going on for me? Because I've got so much on my mind. All those Matlack episodes to be watched. So.
Yeah, the A's didn't do anything to improve their rotation this year. Last year they signed Edwin Jackson, and he gave them some service. He wasn't too bad. But they had Brett Anderson, and he was getting hurt. He was on the DL. They had Trevor Cahill, who could only play a pitch at the Coliseum. He was terrible on the road. They had Mike Fiers, and Fiers was okay. Their big guy last year that they were counting on, Manaea, he won 12 games for them, but he had a shoulder injury and was lost for the season. But he's going to do a 60-pitch simulated game somewhere, and then they're going to see he's going to see if he's ready to go start have rehab starts. So he's not too far away.
Nice.
In the meantime, Frankie Montas, this year's staff is led by Frankie Montas. Montas came over in the trade that sent Josh Reddick to the Dodgers, Josh Reddick and Rich Hill to the Dodgers, and they got Jarrell Cotton and Frankie Montas in the trade. Montas is bounced back and forth in 2017 and 18 between here and Nashville. Now the minor league team's in Las Vegas, but he added a pitch over the winter, and now he's got 3 pitches that he can use, maybe 4 with the changeup, and he's been giving the A's quality starts. Most of his games he goes 6 innings. In the last couple of games he's gone into the 7th inning, and his record shows he's 9-2 and has an earned run average of 2.85, which is outstanding. So he's been the ace of the staff. Mike Fiers has won 7 games, has a no-hitter to his resume. He started off poorly, but his last 5 or 6 games he's been outstanding, giving the A's 6 innings. The third guy is Brett Anderson. He's staying healthy. Brett is 7-4. So those 3 guys have been giving.
Brett's staying healthy. Knock on wood, wherever you are. Let's pay some homage to their pitching coach because.
Todd Emerson.
Yeah. Where did he came out of nowhere, and who did he replace, and why, in your opinion?
He replaced Curt Young. Curt Young had been the long-time pitching coach for the A's. Young left one year. He went in 2012. So he went to the Red Sox and worked with Bobby Valentine, and that was not a happy year for Curt. And then he came back to the A's, and I think the A's fired him not in 2000. 2018, but in 2017. And Scott's been working with the staff, and they're getting results from the staff.
Last year they absolutely, it was like pulling rabbits out of the hat. Edwin Jackson and what have you. So he's doing something right, and giving him credit is always nice.
Sure.
Time to talk for a few moments, if you will, about something that is really sad. That's Piscotty and his ordeal, what he's gone through in life over the last 2 years.
Yes,
you tell the story, Jerry.
Yeah, Stephen Piscotty was a product of the Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals scouting system. Stephen went to Stanford University, so he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's a very smart guy. And he got drafted by the Cardinals and was a rising star in the Cardinal outfield. In 2017, his mother was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS. And ALS, no one recovers from ALS. It's a terminal disease. So Piscotty had asked the Cardinals to trade him, so he could be closer to home. And the Cardinals obliged by trading him to the Oakland A's. And in May of last year, Gretchen Piscotty passed away. The disease took its toll on the family. Stephen had, went through the grieving process and had a decent year with the A's. And this year he's a solid player. He'll hit about 260, 270, 20, 25 home runs, maybe 80, 85 RBIs. Plays very good defense out in the outfield. And he's been a solid addition. Now, his health became an issue last week when they discovered a melanoma on his ear. One of the things that players have to be, especially all Major League Baseball players, was because they play out in the sun every day. They have to be they should be using sunscreen. Well, he had a melanoma on his ear, probably in an area that was left unprotected, and he had to have a surgery to remove it. So
now, was this benign or
no, melanoma is cancer. It's not benign. Wow. It has to be dealt. It has to be dealt with. So you don't want it to spread. So I'll give you a story on melanoma. Isla's former brother-in-law.
I think I dated her sister once. No, that's a different melanoma.
No.
Go ahead.
Isla's former brother-in-law was diagnosed with melanoma some 40 years ago on his ear. And they told him he had about 6 months to live to get his affairs in order. Well, he passed away about 2 weeks ago, and he lived to the age of 85. So even though you have a cancer like melanoma on your ear, and he had part of his ear removed, and but the melanoma didn't kill him. It was something else. So Piscotty's going to be okay. He just has to be careful out in the sun, and that's one of the dangers of going out in the sun. People go out and go sunbathing, whatever. They can develop melanomas later in life. So you have to be careful. Just use sunscreen out there if you think you're going to the beach.
Jerry, wouldn't it be something if 20 years from now they discover it was chicken soup that killed people?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, wouldn't that be ironic?
Right now, a bowl of chicken soup with a matzo ball, and it doesn't sound too bad.
Right. Remember the old story about give him chicken soup. It's too late, doctor. He's already dead. It wouldn't help. Wouldn't hurt. Anyway, Jerry, what do you think the A's chances are down for the remainder of the season? I'm just curious. You've always been so right on in your prognostications. I can't pronounce that very well.
The A's play better in the second half of the year. They did last year, and they're going to do it again this year. They are just a game. If the playoffs were to be held tomorrow, they wouldn't be in it because they're a game and a half back of the second wild card spot. They are for the first time in a long time. They're 3 games over 500. Now they have a tough series this weekend. They're playing the Tampa Bay Rays, which are a very good young team, challenging for the lead in the American League East against the Yankees. But the Rays fell 3.5 games behind the Yankees. The Yankees punished them the last couple of games. But they're a good team. They got good pitching, good bullpen. And so the Rays probably be the first wild card team. Second wild card team could be the Red Sox, could be the Cleveland Indians, could be the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers are the surprise story of the year. I think their pitching is it's not as good as the A's, and it may hurt them going down the stretch. But the A's at the moment, with as long as they stay healthy, they've got good hitting, they've got good defense, and they have reasonably good pitching. The key will be their bullpen. Last year they had a lights out.
Jerry, tell me something about Texas. They have a ballpark that's, about 2 years old now?
It's 25 years old, and it's going bye-bye. The A's would kill to have a 25-year-old park.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a beautiful ballpark. I've attended a game there, and it like I say, it's nice. It reminds me, the inner part of it reminds me of the old Polo Grounds.
Mm-hmm. They took some stuff from the old stadiums. They took some stuff from Fenway Park. They took some stuff from Yankee Stadium, but they're getting a brand new air-conditioned stadium right next door in Arlington, Texas. So who knows?
Well, you got all the money in God's earth in Texas, so let them spend it.
You got heat and
Speaking
humidity.
Of stadiums, how about the one in Oakland? We've had good news in the past few weeks.
Yeah, it's moving along. The Port of Oakland gave the A's 4 years to get an environmental impact report done. Of course, the A's want to have it done sooner rather than later so they can get moving on the project. They would like to have the stadium available by 2023, but they don't have any steam shovels in the ground right now, so they still got a little way to go. The Oakland City Council had an issue, and they voted favorably in the A's favor. So you got the port and you got the city looking favorably on the project. They have some issues that they have to deal with. They're going to have transportation issues that they're going to have to deal with. They're going to have parking issues they're going to have to deal with. Their things have to be resolved. The streets are narrow over in Jack London Square in that part of Oakland. They're just 2-lane streets. They're going to have a lot of cars, and it's going to be clogged. Where are you going to put all the parking? They might have to build parking structures. They want to put shopping in. I don't know if they want to put in residential. When Jerry Brown was the mayor of Oakland, they took that area by 4th and Alice, and they redeveloped all that stuff. They put in a lot of apartments as the downtown Oakland, and it's also might become a lot of jobs coming in. Kaiser Permanente's building a new national headquarters right by the Paramount Theater. It's 28 or 29 stories tall. The tech company Square took over the old Sears building in downtown Oakland, and they're going to have about 3,500 of their employees working there. The building that's going on.
So, well, you said Oakland, there is a there.
Yes.
Who was it? Dorothy Parker?
Richard Stein. There's no.
Richard Stein. Okay.
Yeah.
What did Dorothy Parker say?
The food at the Algonquin Hotel is good. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
the round table.
She said men rarely make passes at girls who wear glasses, but never a problem for girls with nice asses. That's the original. I
Very
don't know
good.
if I got that. I think that was the original. Either that or I added to the late Dorothy Parker. Can't beat that.
And I think that the late Clifford Odets, who liked these two-line, I guess they're sonnets, that candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker.
Yes, indeed. All right, Jerry, this is always a pleasure, you know. You're my bud. And let's do it at Nathan's next time you're in Alameda.
There you go. And people listening to the podcast, if there's going to be a great pitching matchup tonight at the Coliseum. The A's playing the Tampa Bay Rays, and they got Frankie Montas 9-2 with a 2.85 ERA, going up against the Rays' Charlie Morton, who's 8-1. And Morton beat the A's when they were down in Tampa Bay about 10 days ago. Morton is a cagey veteran, uses a lot of sliders, and then when you're looking for a slider, he sneaks a fastball by you for the catch you caught looking. So
this cagey veteran is thinking sliders all the way. Thank you, Jerry. We'll see you next time.
It was fun. Bye-bye now.
Good. Thanks for listening, everybody. Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. Adios.